Survivor After Show here on theStream.tv.
Yay!
I'm your host, Justin Walter, and we are streaming live, so you can get in on the conversation on YouTube or tweet us on Twitter with the hashtag SurvivorAS. And joining me for this show are the best co-hosts around. Three-time Survivor player, Jerri Manthey.
Yay! Hi!
And
Oh my gosh.
Jerri, you look fantastic.
Well, thank you. I straightened my hair. I'm wearing eyelashes and lipstick, so this is serious business, people.
And
She took a shower, people.
she took a
Let's
shower.
Be real.
I've never seen you in a dress before.
No way!
Who's seen you with straight hair before? I've seen you with straight hair once, and I've known you for years.
Well, it's about time.
Well, you clean up very nice. And over to my right, the one and only Ryan Allen Carrillo.
Yay!
Hey, everybody. So excited to be here.
We're so excited. We have a new set. We're here at theStream.tv. It looks fantastic, and we have to jump right into it. An incredible season 30 premiere for Survivor, Worlds Apart, 3 tribes based on collars, white collar, blue collar. I almost said red collar because the colors do not match the drapes. And no collars. So let's jump right into it. You know, obviously we have Jeff Probst introducing the tribes, and we get to know, for the first hour of this episode, we got to know kind of the development of the characters in the tribe. So let's start off with the yellow tribe, the white collar tribe. Jerri, what did you think? Who stood out to you?
Oh my gosh.
Do you even remember?
All right, I have to look at my notes.
It's so hard for
got
the
cheat
first
sheets.
group because there's so many people, there's so much information in such a short period of time. Who stood out
Joaquin.
to you?
Okay,
Joaquin.
Joaquin, who's a really bad liar, like the
Yeah.
worst. Him and So, they team up immediately. They go walk off to go get the first clue. They have to choose between being honest or dishonest. They decide to go with dishonest. Personally, I think that was a huge mistake.
Yeah.
Right.
It was way too early in the game to go dishonest already. And
Yeah.
they're really bad liars. They were horrible.
Horrible.
Oh
Horrible.
my
I mean, a
gosh.
little kid could lie better than that.
The thing I don't get, we saw this in Brains, Brawn, and Beauty when the individuals had to go to the tribe or to the tribe first, the campsite, and then make a decision.
Right.
They will always come back to bite you in the butt.
Right.
I mean,
Always.
even if you lie that there's a neutral box, when you merge or when you switch tribes and that conversation comes up, everyone is going to be, there was
Right.
no neutral decision to make.
Right.
The number one mistake, too, is do not volunteer first
No.
for anything.
Never.
Because you are damned if you do, damned if you don't. And we've seen time and time again exactly what you said. No matter what you say. I mean, you literally have to come back screaming with hands up, okay, I swear I'm telling the truth. But even that, you're like, oh, you're lying.
But that didn't work with the blue collar tribe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they decided to go with the honest choice, and when they came back to the tribe, they told them
It's still
exactly what
suspicious.
they saw, and everyone still, what was her name?
those two are
She still
shady in
didn't
real life,
believe that
though.
Yeah.
it was the right bag
Well,
of beans.
it was Sierra and Lindsay, and the reason why is because they said they chose the rice. The bag of rice in the decision was a small bag of rice. When we're used to, remember last season on Survivor, Jeff gave them for trading, you know, their luxuries, and it was a huge bag of rice.
Right.
I've been trying to forget that ever since.
It was
that was
blocked out of your
so
memory.
ridiculous. Yeah.
But
They were eating well last season.
yeah.
One thing about Max on the White Tribe, he immediately, he's taught a course, a college course on Survivor, and he said, I've learned you do not take the leadership role.
Period.
Period. Smart decision, and that's when Joaquin and So did. Every person who took the leadership position, they're in a little trouble, a little hot water, because they're just putting your neck out there.
Well, I think Max belongs on the no-collar tribe. Is it just me? I mean, maybe it's just because he's got a big bushy beard. I can't imagine him working somewhere and them allowing that with the dress code.
Right. I'm a fan of his, but I also want to point out, let's just talk about Tyler for a second.
Yes.
On the same tribe. Tyler 100% should not be on the white collar tribe.
Which tribe would you put him on?
He's not white collar. He's an agent assistant.
He was a former CAA agent's assistant.
Okay, but you're still an assistant. Like, you're
Be,
not white
be careful
collar.
what you say. We all might need representation at some
That's
point.
true. Hi, CAA. We could use some representation up in here.
Even though, you know, out of the white collar title, he might be the lowest man on the totem pole, but, you know, being an assistant, he does have a good grasp on the tribe. He's in a good position on his tribe that we saw
I agree.
develop throughout
But don't you, when you
show.
stereotypically think of, because this whole game leads to stereotypes, this entire
This
first
season,
episode. Like, every other word was like, oh,
White
however,
collar. I'm white collar.
You think, you know, someone working on the stock market, you're thinking that sort of thing. But even when they go back and they start throwing around those corporate terms,
Yeah.
it's just a little much.
It's a little much. So let's talk about blue collar, the blue collar tribe. Right away we have the leader. Everyone had to nominate a leader or pick a leader. They chose, or Dan stepped up, the postman, and then Mike joined him because he volunteered. Dan. He's a fan of the show. He's been trying to get on for 10 years. I give him credit for that. Huge super fan.
There's a lot of
Can you
super
relate
fans.
to that, Justin?
I can relate to that. Everyone knows that. But
Did you guys notice there's a lot of super fans
which
on
is
this
good.
season?
I like
Yeah.
it.
And I know Justin's very happy about that because we're
happy.
still trying to
Justin
get him
is
on.
not happy, period, if he's not on the show. Let's
One day
be
it'll
real,
happen.
people.
But one thing, let's talk about Dan's big moment was when they were building a shelter and he was talking to talking to Lindsay and Sierra, and he was so condescending
He
to the
wasn't
women.
talking, he was yelling, he was demanding. He was
Right.
doing exactly what I
What did he
always
say?
tell people
You're
don't do when you're making a shelter.
Right, what's the number one rule you say about the shelter?
Number
Don't
one.
get into an argument about
Keep
the
your
shelter.
mouth shut about the shelter.
Keep your mouth shut.
No,
Always.
He was not just condescending, he's just straight out rude. Like, that would not
He called them
fly.
stupid. Who calls
Right.
people stupid
Which
on
they
Survivor?
are, but I
So
mean,
rude. It was not good, and I think
No.
I do like Lindsay. She is the single mom, the hairdresser with all the tattoos. She had a moment with Rodney with the tattoos, and right away we think Rodney has some similarities to Russell Hantz, using his tattoo to lure in the women. That's his strategy, to get the women on his
Yeah,
side.
but-
death in his family, which we
is
both
a
we
little-
both took a step back. We're like, wait,
Yeah.
is he lying or is it true? It's almost worse that it's true.
Yeah.
when you
it's
use the
horrible.
death of a
That's
family
a
member.
horrible, horrible story to share just to gain trust with
Right.
someone on Survivor.
However,
I'm sorry.
his sister was probably like, you know, if she was around, I mean, who knows? But
Do what
she'd
you
be like,
gotta do.
do what you got to do. She loves her brother. You know, that, I mean, you never know what
We'll
kind
never-
of dichotomy
we'll
they
never
have.
know.
Right.
Let's talk about No Collar. I think we have to first talk about the leader, and one of the most interesting characters on that tribe is Vince with the hair.
Oh my
the feathers
gosh.
in
I
the
can't with
hair.
him. We stopped wearing feathers in I had feathers in my hair, just so everyone's aware.
When?
What?
In early 2000, it was kind of cool. I had a couple of feathers back here. They used to,
With your rat tail?
they used to
Was that
call
what
me,
you-
they used to call me the Hawk. I was cute. I had some dates.
Oh my
But
God.
this is a whole new level.
No, he's like a total
Where's he getting these
hippy
feathers
dippy
at
dude.
anyways?
I don't know. He's like the total hippy dippy coconut. What
He
do they
sells
call it?
coconuts in Santa Monica.
A coconut vendor.
Mm-hmm.
Where do they find these
Well,
people?
He probably works for coconut water. Let's be honest.
He will after the
That's he
show.
for
No,
sure.
oh yeah.
Coconut vendor.
If you want to work an angle, there's one.
I
Yeah.
can't imagine that guy has a job. to be
Well,
honest.
No.
Jen, she stepped out to be, the co-leader with him, and he immediately felt that she's a kindred spirit, and he obviously has some sort of weird connection, feelings for her. Which
He
Well,
felt
remember,
her-
she also said she's like, didn't she say I want to kiss everybody right now?
yeah,
That's
she
why
did.
he liked
well,
her.
She's No Collar.
Right.
Did she?
Yes.
I missed that part. I was too busy
cute, too.
watching her flirt
very
with
good,
everybody.
yeah. I'm liking her.
I think she's going to be good. And what was interesting was almost we had a PETA, Katniss Everdeen, Gale triangle, love triangle going on, because Joe, who...
What?
You guys like Hunger Games?
Hunger
references?
Games.
Hunger Games.
Keep going.
So
Justin.
Joe, who is what I'm calling right
Wait,
now...
Hunger Games is the Survivor shenanigans.
Hunger
I just
Games.
put it together.
Hunger Games. I'm calling it right now. Joe is going to be the new Malcolm, where he built fire with his bare hands, super fan of the show, gonna be great in challenges. All the ladies love him. He is going to be a force to be reckoned with.
I like him.
Jen
I do too.
was vibing with Joe when they were building the shelter, and that's when Vince had to pull her aside and say, "Are you attracted to Joe?"
No, that was really weird because first of all, what does attraction really? I mean, he was so jealous. It was disgusting. It was like a total dude move. Like, you like him better than me? I'm like, what is this Survivor?
It's too much. And also, Jerry, is it weird that they didn't build the shelter on the first day? Like, it's day
Yes.
two.
No, okay.
Is that normal?
No, let me
That
just say
That stood out to
Blue
me.
collar.
when it
right?
comes to the shelter, it's always a fiasco. It doesn't matter what season it is, but I mean, honestly, at this point in the game's 30 seasons in, people still just look at the shelter as this thing that, oh, well, we're only going to be here for 38 days. We don't
Yeah.
really need to build it. And so either that or they half-ass it. And I don't see anything any different on this season, unfortunately. But I don't know what the weather's going to be like. If it starts to rain, that's when it gets serious.
Yeah.
But even the shelter was all of the arguments stem from the shelter.
Always.
Always in the premiere, you have Vince versus Joe, you have Dan versus the ladies.
Right.
And one person we haven't talked about, Jerry, your favorite, Mike on the Blue Collar Tribe.
I love
Yes.
Mike.
Mike is great.
I love Mike. I love he eats
Describe
a
what
scorpion.
happened. I just can't.
Yeah, no, he cuts the tail off the scorpion. He shoves it down his throat. He thinks he's cool because he's got some protein now, and he's gonna laugh at everyone later when they don't have
What
any
an
food in their
idiot.
stomach, and then
That's
he
just too
throws up.
much.
Yeah, I'm like worried about him getting dehydrated
Yeah,
at
if
that
you're
point.
puking your brains out the whole
But
first
I
day.
really like him. There's
I
something
mean,
about him I
listen to that
can't.
as a joke, but like,
Yeah. I can't
Trust
even
me.
figure out what it is, but there's something about him I like.
I know they
like
eat bugs on Survivor, but
Yeah.
I'm not putting a scorpion in my mouth, people, that I pick up off the ground.
Never. All right, well, we have a special guest who is Skyping in with us tonight. It is season 30, so obviously we want to talk to former Survivor contestants. We have the most recent $1 million winner
Yay!
from Survivor Blood vs. Water, season 29, Natalie. She's been in the Amazing Race twice, so she is Skyping in. We want to talk to Natalie and get her thoughts on tonight's premiere episode, so let's get Natalie involved in the conversation. Natalie, are you there?
Yay!
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Natalie.
Hi, guys. How are you doing?
Well, we can't hear you, but we're going to
you
ask
look
you some
great.
questions, and you look great.
I'm pretty good at reading lips. Go
We're
for
going
it.
to read your lips. So, Natalie,
How are you going to know
Well-
if the fans are going to be able to hear?
fans,
hear
can
you
the
guys.
fans hear Natalie? Natalie, well, you can hear us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she can hear us.
All right, so Natalie, give us your thoughts on tonight's episode. Who are your favorites right now on the cast?
Going in, I really like So. She was the girl that was on off season with us but got evacuated with her sister. And so I was rooting for her from the start because I just felt like I had a connection with her. Also, she's a girl and she definitely looked like a little badass. So I was rooting for her. Well, that goes that now. So
I love it.
That is a great answer, Natalie. We didn't hear a word of it, but I'm pretty sure that what you said is very profound.
And Natalie, I wanted to ask you, is there any truth that you gambled all the $1 million away already? We heard you put it all on black in Vegas and walked away. Did we double our money, or where are we at?
no, I mean, if there was a brown, I would have bet on brown, but there was no brown. So I didn't gamble at all. My dad gambled a bit. I didn't gamble.
Oh my gosh, Natalie.
Absolutely, that was hilarious.
Glad that's how you're spending your money. Natalie, if you had to pick a winner right now, who would follow you up with the crown of winning this season in your gut right now?
Oh man, if I had to pick a winner right now, it's so hard. Pick me to win. I don't think first episode.
Oh, she's thinking about it. Is that her Skype?
Okay, I'm just gonna pick
Okay.
something. Hold on. I don't know, Mike.
Malcolm? Did she say Malcolm?
Not sure,
Mike.
not sure.
Mike.
Mike.
Yes.
Mike.
We're going to have to do
I like
hand
Mike
signals
too.
so we
Got
can
it.
finally see what's happening.
I like
right,
Mike
good.
too. I think that was pretty brave of him to eat that scorpion, don't you?
And he's really chill. He performed really good at the challenge for the puzzle. I wouldn't have thought that. And so maybe he'll end up, going really far.
Natalie, so I have a question to you about your sister. Is your sister upset that you're more rich and more famous now? 'Cause I know you guys are very competitive.
Unfortunately, I have to share my money with her, not everything. So she did the least amount of work for the biggest payout. So Nadia's looking good. I don't know. I feel so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Natalie, we want to thank you so much for Skyping in with us. We love having you guests. Maybe next time we'll actually get to hear some of your answers.
Yeah.
We're having little technical difficulties. We've loved reading your lips. You're incredible.
Beautiful lips.
We loved watching you last season. You played an incredible game.
Oh,
So
thank
whoever
you.
wins
Yeah.
the season really needs to step it up and play like you. Thank you so much for joining
Yeah,
us.
thanks for
We
being
were
a
big
powerful
fans. Yeah, big
woman.
fans.
Nice to see another woman winner. Woo!
Girl power for Jerri.
We'll go to Vegas.
We'll have you come back sometime later in the season. Thank you so
For
much.
sure. Bye, guys.
So awesome
her.
to have Natalie guest. We're definitely going to get some more winners and past contestants calling in. on
And guests in the
after show.
studio.
Guests in the studio. We have an exciting season coming up.
I have some fun little comments on YouTube.
All
Thank
right.
you guys for sending these in. Someone called Rod Boston Rod.
Okay.
Right? I mean,
Yes.
there is definitely some similarities.
He had that cute Boston tank.
Yeah, and he's very athletic, which we all know Rob is amazing
Yes.
at challenges. And Denise is tuning in right now. Denise from, she was, what season did she
Philippines,
win?
25.
Philippines, the winner
The
of the
winner,
Philippines.
the
We
winner.
love Denise.
Yes. All right, guys. So we got to keep talking about this premiere episode. One of the obviously most entertaining things to watch is always the immunity challenge. So in tonight's immunity challenge, I'll quickly go through what the challenge was and
Phew,
then let's
good
break
luck.
it down. So this is one of my, in 30 seconds,
Yeah,
I'm
30
going to do it.
seconds.
That was
Go.
So the
complicated.
immunity challenge is the three tribes have to first run down a ramp through hay. Then they can either use a ring of keys to unlock a lock. There's about 20 keys. They have to just figure out which one it is, or they can untie
Tie the knots.
In that is a ladder. Then I have to use the ladder to climb over through a puzzle, and then use the ladder to grab puzzle pieces. There's a bag of 5 pieces, 10, and 50. The number of pieces, the less pieces, the more difficult it is. The more pieces, the easier it is. So, go.
Good job. I think we need to do a stopwatch next time.
We're gonna do some stopwatches
No,
on how
seriously,
quick I can do
that
it.
was a really complicated challenge, and I think the idea of the smaller puzzle pieces being easier versus the bigger puzzle pieces
Right.
ended up being the truth, really.
Right. Well, because I think that maybe they thought it was going to be much harder than it was too, because no one even grabbed the 5-piece bag.
No,
at
which
all.
are tanagrams. If you've
Right.
ever been a kid playing with those, we'll have to show.
Yeah, I
you, Jerry.
still don't know what that is.
Let's bring one next week.
We'll do a challenge.
But
in
what
the
I thought was
studio.
interesting, because you have to take a risk if you're in last place. So I thought for sure the last place team would have grabbed that. And
Yes.
like you guys said, whoever was first, they could take their time a little bit more.
So leading the whole challenge, we had the white collar tribe was in the lead, and it partially was because So was so good at untying the knot, she got them a huge lead. And then when they were at the puzzle pieces, they picked the 50, which is just spelling out the different tribes
Yes.
with a huge 50-piece puzzle.
Yeah, she said, I know what it is, but there's 50 pieces.
And that
Right.
was, how do you say her name?
Sharon?
Sharon.
Sharon.
Shahrazad.
Look on your cheat sheet.
It's it, S-H-I-R-I-N.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they were
Sharon.
going after the 50-piece puzzle, and then the blue collar tribe following behind them went for the middle one, 10 pieces, which we've seen that tree puzzle before. That looks complicated, but I don't
Right.
really think it's necessarily as complicated as they make it seem to be, because once you get 1 or 2 pieces, they all start coming together.
Right. I
Yeah.
agree with you. Because I think one of the
Actually,
biggest...
I was wrong. It wasn't blue collar. Blue collar was way behind. It was the no collar
Right.
that
They
did
blew it
And
out of the water.
It was
Yeah.
it was Joe. It was Joe who he took over, and he just dominated that challenge and got them the win, the immunity.
It's
win.
funny how important the first one is, that everyone, like once one person swapped, they all were swapping one at
Yes.
a time, which usually doesn't happen.
Yeah, and it was the blue collar tribe fell way behind, and then it was Mike who did the puzzle.
Good old Mike.
Good old Mike.
Good old Mike, I'm
Jerry's
telling
man,
ya.
Natalie's pick to win the season. And what was
It was that extra protein that helped.
the extra protein? It's the scorpion that helped him get that immunity win.
I'm just glad he didn't die when he ate that thing. I was
Yeah.
really concerned about his safety.
As the white collar tribe, I would have, I think, thought if we're in the lead, let's go with the easiest one, even though it's the most pieces. So I thought they were being smart, and then obviously she couldn't do the puzzle, and then Max swapped in to do it, and he was making some ground up. But 50 pieces versus 10
Yeah.
is...
And then they end up
Right.
winning fire,
Mm-hmm.
which is also always a good thing. And the second place team got flint,
Right.
which I still have
Huge.
in my glove box, and I will always have it in there for the rest of my life.
Just in case.
Fire is life, people.
I mean, major props. I think if they were doing like the sprint player of the week, I think Joe would get it for starting. You know, we'll do our player of the week here.
Did you just plug sprint?
No,
Yeah, you
sorry,
did.
sorry. You know, they do that.
You have to give
Oh,
some
and,
money first.
Making
Wait,
the fire
wait.
on his own.
Michael Blancato, these chairs are comfy.
Oh.
They're very comfy.
Yeah, thank you.
So comfortable. But Joe, I mean, he helped him basically get that win, and he started fire. I think he's going to be a real contender this season.
Joe is great.
Real contender.
Yeah, I think we
He's got
definitely.
it all.
He's got it going on. So after immunity, you would think white collar goes back to camp, and who would be your obvious choice that would probably go home?
I've said Tyler. That's what I thought, just because I just thought he was going to be so aggressive, but obviously he's like pulled it back a little bit.
He's pulling the strings with Max.
Yeah.
Well, I was hoping they were going to get Joaquin because his attitude of thinking that he's superior just, I have a problem with that.
What was
It always ends up going at the very beginning, because they don't really know each other that well, and even us as viewers, we only get like a snapshot of them. Whoever performs poorly, quote unquote, in the challenge is what gets on the chopping block. So
Yeah.
any person that's on this show, make sure you kick ass in the very first one and you're not on the chopping block, and do not volunteer to do the puzzle ever.
and
Unless you're good at puzzles.
They all said they were
What-
good in puzzles.
what was
every
crazy-
season, and they're not.
what was crazy is she wasn't even on the chopping block.
Right.
And she formed and I keep saying she, because how do I pronounce her name? Sheeran.
Yeah.
Cherie, whatever.
Just take my word for
Sheeran,
it.
all right, Jerry. So
Sheeran.
she made an alliance day one with Max and Carolyn. and she.
I
talked
thought she
strategy
was
with them.
solid. Like, I was pretty sure that she had found people to align with pretty early on, right?
She did.
Like, the second they landed at camp, she was already working
she was
everybody.
all over it. But what I thought was she blew the lead. She blew a huge lead, and I guess we're seeing that nowadays. Classic Survivor, she would have been off first, But nowadays, it doesn't necessarily matter if you do blow the lead in the immunity challenge. So then it came down to, we haven't even talked about it, Carolyn found the hidden idol on her own.
Yeah, I like her.
I like her a lot.
Yeah.
Just the fact that obviously they all figured out that Joaquin and So were lying. The worst liars
on the planet.
The season. And saying the neutral. And I love that they said, everyone's seen Survivor. There's not going to be a neutral option. It's either honesty or deceit.
101 in lying. Now, take note of this to your partners you tell. Make the lie short and simple. The more long, complicated the lie is, the more you sound like an idiot.
Yeah.
Keep it short.
And
So did say that. She said, is this story too complicated?
Exactly.
It was
Like, if you have
You
to
are
ask that
guilty.
question, yes, it
way too
is.
complicated.
Absolutely.
And when you're looking for the hidden idol, Joaquin and So, be a little more discreet. Like, they were just walking off, looking through all the trees. And
with the camera crew, production, like it's a full show.
And that's what I do give Carolyn credit, where she's obviously a fan of the show. She's watched Survivor and saying it's going to be in a unique looking tree. And there she goes and finds a unique looking tree around the area.
It's always in a unique looking tree. Always. I don't know very many times when it wasn't.
Give her credit. I honestly thought once they lost and her head was on the chopping block, it came down to So versus Carolyn. So was heavily campaigning for Carolyn to go, and Carolyn got wind of it. And, it was between the two of them. I thought this idol might come out of Tribal Council.
Well, it was also risky that she told Tyler, right? Is that his name? The one I'm not a fan of.
Yeah.
Which was like, why are you telling people?
Yeah.
Why do people do that? I still, every time someone does it, I'm always wondering, like, why? What do you think you're going to gain from telling somebody?
I mean, he's lucky he didn't turn on her like even worse than what it was.
Yeah, I mean, he did in a sense, because, But is he the only one that knows that she has the idol?
I wonder if that
they
alliance
didn't
knows now.
Maybe.
I think that she does versus So. Obviously, So is more athletic and young. But when you have that idol as leverage, and she told Tyler, and Max is talking to Tyler, I think that the idol came up as leverage to keep her in, and that's what kept them in.
That could have been what happened, because we all thought, I mean, not to jump ahead, that it was not going to work out.
Oh my gosh,
for her.
we're going to get to Tribal Council, it's an explosive Tribal Council, but before we do that, we are going to take a quick commercial break.
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
Just in case you missed it live.
Oh, just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live, I'm doing something right now.
So we're all super excited.
This is dancing.
So what would that be, like a 7?
I cannot. I literally cannot. You guys have got to get it together.
Don't hate the player, don't hate the game. Hate the contract you didn't get.
He's a coward. He's a giant chicken shit.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's going to be like hurricane. Whoa.
Watch out for those girls. They are gagging them.
Hold the phone.
Hold on.
Bro.
That the more brutal you are, the more power you have.
Right.
That was sexy, it was hot, it was heated, I was into it.
You are going to be the most high-paid hooker in the world.
Go ahead and invite your friends and everybody. Tell your mama, tell her don't ahead, turn the stove off and get up on the computer so we can get on the stream.tv.
Thank you again for joining us, and until next week, bye-bye.
We're having so much fun that the show is being streamed live. Jerri actually is interacting and looking at some comments. So what do you got, Jerri?
Michael Blancato again asks me, Jerri, question about the All-Stars for a second. Were you and Jenna in an alliance in Saboga, and were you planning to go far with her before the switch?
We all want to know that.
No.
All right, good answer, Jerry. So one thing, we also want you guys to engage on Twitter with the hashtag SurvivorAS. Ryan's going to read some tweets that we saw throughout the episode that made us laugh.
Perfect. All right, this is from Brad Wardlow, who says, I keep wondering if So has an identical twin named what? Another one from Lanaby. Who is Vince? I thought he was Fabio. No?
No.
Good comparison.
One
Good
last one,
comparison.
again from Brad, because we love Brad, but he said, so surreal having my tweet favorited by Jerri Manthey.
Barf.
Well, what about the guy that said Dan? Oh no, Dan went postal.
Good
That was a
puns.
hilarious tweet I
Keep
got
the puns
today.
coming. We definitely want to share your
I have
tweets.
another one. I have
go
another
ahead,
one,
Jerry.
yes. Sean McHale asks, who seems like they'll have the best social game?
Ooh. I'm gonna keep saying Joe, and that's my guess, Joe.
I'm Joe. I think we just need a little bit more time. Quick
Yeah.
question that someone
Mike.
asked too
I
on
think
Twitter
Mike.
too. What tribe do you think you guys would be in? Everyone wants to ask.
Real quick, I mean, I guess I think I would go no collar because I'm a huge traveler. I
Right.
go job to job to job and travel all the time, and I'm kind of a free spirit in that sense.
But you're also kind of white collar.
Thanks, Jerry.
Well, you've done a 9 to 5. I would definitely be no collar.
Done.
Although I would take those people out so fast they'd never see it coming because they're all like hippie love and everything, which just
Right.
makes me want to.
You would have feathers in your hair.
No,
That's
no,
all
I would
know.
not.
I for sure would kill everyone on the no collar tribe, but I feel like I could probably be in both. Same thing.
right.
I mean,
All right. So let's talk about this. Was one of the best first tribal councils I think we've seen in all 30 seasons.
Lots of drama.
from the start.
Huge drama from the start.
Right. Is
Yeah.
this the real world? Like, what is going on here?
This was incredible. The amount of drama and the idea that I thought the hidden idol was going to be played
Totally.
at the very first tribal council was insane. It was on fire, and it was a lot of So versus Carolyn.
We were all screaming at the TV, which I don't think that's ever happened on a season 1 or
No.
episode 1 of a season.
Episode 1.
Right.
Yeah.
The moment where Carolyn did not play that hidden idol, we all gasped, and we were just, what?
Because it's just such a huge risk. Like, why take the chance? Like, just play the idol. There's no way I would have. I mean, you guys not gonna play the idol?
No, I would have
After
played
all
it.
that banter, once So was getting crazy. I mean, like that's just like I have to play it.
It was so said at tribal council. She's like, the 4 of us are really tight.
Right.
At which point Carolyn was like, 4?
Yeah,
What
that's
do you
when
mean
you go
4?
like this. Okay.
Yeah.
4. There is 6 of us.
But do you think there may have been a scene where it was the 4 of them, Tyler and Max, talking to Carolyn?
Of course.
Yes, but bringing the idol and then them like solidifying a really tight deal. I think that had to have happened because otherwise she would have played the
Well,
idol.
I think if she had told anyone else that she had the idol, they would have shown that for sure.
Right. And
But
people
I
have
think
gone home for less having an idol.
There was
than
definitely
doing it, to be
conversations we didn't see as usual. You know, that's part of the editing process. But I mean, clearly she felt comfortable enough not to play it.
Do you think it was smart that they kept Carolyn versus So? I'm shocked that So went first. Like she
was pretty.
She's too aggressive. Was that why you think?
No, because
or
she chose the
bad luck?
dishonest bag at the beginning. I
Yes.
think that bit her in the butt. And Joaquin walked free, despite the fact that I think it was more his idea to be dishonest at the top instead of hers.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
Think that?
Yeah.
So if she would have chosen honesty bag, do you think she'd still be there?
I
and
think
Carolyn
so.
would have gone?
Yeah.
That obviously affected a lot more.
That and they were horrible liars. I mean,
Right.
even Max in Tribal Council, this season, this first episode is full of sound bites that I seriously I'm gonna have to rewatch it because they were so classic and so great.
It's definitely a Survivor drinking game.
Totally. But Max said something great. He was like, you know what? I know that I can lie better than they can because they were
Oh, it's
horrible at it.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Right.
He said, I would have picked the same, I would have done the same thing they did, I just would have lied better.
Yes, that's what
Because
he
she
said.
actually did good on the
Fantastic.
challenges. So from our perspective as a viewer, we were like, why lose her? Because she did actually produce. And so there
think
has to be
Carolyn's
some
strong.
other behind the
I
scenes
also
stuff that we
think
missed.
it's also bad luck when you're going after one person you don't know has the hidden idol and they have that in their back pocket.
Right.
Because I
Yeah.
think if it would have been maybe her going after someone else who didn't have the idol, she would have had a better shot. But when you go after someone who has the hidden idol and they can use that as leverage, you're sunk.
Right.
You're sunk.
Which just, goes back to what we've always said. Survivor is a lot about luck, and there's nothing you can do about that. No
Right.
matter how good of a player you are, if you get lined up with the wrong people at the wrong time,
Yeah.
you're not guaranteed anything.
I remember in the
it's
final,
a very hard game to win.
the final tribal council in season 2 Australia, Jerry, which you were in, Tina Wesson said,
Back in the 70s.
luck luck was one of the main things why she was sitting there. And throwing back to season 2, this is season 30. Jerri, you have been on 3 seasons of Survivor, and because of that, Ryan has something to share.
I do.
What?
The lovely people at Cross Pens are doing this new campaign, if I can get it out. This new campaign called Be Peerless 125, and they would like to award you with a gorgeous pin
For me?
for you for your humanitarian work, as well as
Does Burning Man humanitarian work?
yes, her humanitarian
wow.
work at Burning Man, but also just for Survivor season 30, and
gorgeous.
you are Survivor royalty, one of the first villains in
Those
TV.
are
So
expensive
congratulations.
pens, right?
Thank you,
And if I see that on
Cross Pens.
eBay anytime soon, I'm
Which
gonna
it
have
probably
a
will
problem
be.
up in here.
No,
people.
no. Thank
And
you.
you have something for the fans, a contest for
I
this
do.
season.
We also want to announce a contest for the fans. Keep up with us on YouTube. And the most Survivor comments through the entire season, we're going to award you one of these pins and mail it to you guys. So we have a great campaign. So keep the comments coming. Let's talk, let's get social, and we'll all be on there ourselves.
They are
And-
beautiful, beautiful pens.
I do have to
I'm
also say Ryan is
honored.
going to tally up who made the most comments.
Exactly. And the most bad comments about Jerri is winning.
No.
You better take that
back. So real quick before we wrap up, predictions, guys. What do you think next week? Which tribe do you think will lose immunity?
Everyone's getting naked.
Everyone's
yeah.
getting naked.
Yes, it's going to be a naked season, finally.
Yeah, Richard Hatch will be very happy to hear
so
that.
crazy. Well, I have to say it's been fun doing this with you guys. We love our new set here at theStream.tv. We're gonna have so much fun. We really want to interact with the fans all season long. So
Get
tweet
social
us,
with us.
Comment on YouTube,
hashtag
please.
SurvivorAS, and we look forward to what I hear and we all hear is going to be an explosive, amazing season of Survivor season 30. So Jerri, where can people tweet you at?
At Jerri Manthey.
Yes, I can be tweeted at Justin F. Walter, and Ryan.
Ryan A. Carrillo.
So guys, we will be back next week. Again, we are going to be airing right after the episode ends. So come tune in, and we're excited to come back.
Yay!
All right.
Woohoo!